She said, "Let's do a no-contact weekend to reconnect with ourselves." I agreed. Then she came back wearing a necklace I didn't buy, so I packed her things, changed the locks, and let her find out why alone. I'm 34, and until a couple months ago, I was engaged to Lily, who's 30. We'd been together 3 years, engaged for 6 months. The wedding was planned for the spring, just a small beach ceremony with close friends, nothing flashy. That's what we both wanted. Or at least, that's what I thought we wanted. Lily was a freelance designer. She worked odd hours and had the kind of lifestyle that made room for yoga, crystal healing, herbal teas, and recently, self-discovery books. I never mocked it. Honestly, I respected how grounded she tried to be, even if I didn't buy into the chakra realignment or energy purges. Everyone needs something that centers them, right? So when she brought up the idea of a soul reset weekend, I didn't push back. She explained it like this: no phones, no texting, no contact whatsoever. A full 72 hours apart, even though we lived together. The idea was that by disconnecting, we could reconnect more fully. It sounded like something she read in one of her books, probably next to a quote about setting intentions with moonlight or something. I thought it was silly, but not threatening. And we'd both been a little off lately, busy schedules, small arguments, wedding planning stress. So I figured, sure, what's the harm in a tech-free weekend? I stayed home, took a hike Saturday morning, made myself real food, played guitar for the first time in weeks. I even dug out a book I'd been meaning to finish. It was actually kind of nice. I didn't check social media, didn't text her. I respected the boundary. Monday morning came, and I was making coffee when she walked through the door. No knock, no text saying she was on her way. Just walked in, all smiles, like she'd come back from a spa retreat. She hugged me tightly, asked how my weekend was. I said it was good, peaceful. She nodded and said hers was transformative. Her word, not mine. Then I saw it. A silver necklace around her neck. Subtle, but not like the stuff she usually wore. It wasn't flashy, just a simple little charm on a thin chain. Still, I'd never seen it before. And we lived together. I noticed that kind of thing. New necklace? I asked. She paused just a beat too long. Barely noticeable, but I caught it. Oh yeah? Picked it up at a little place during my meditation retreat. Thought it was cute. I didn't press. Just nodded and went back to my coffee. But something inside shifted. That night, after she went to bed early claiming she was emotionally exhausted, I checked Instagram. She hadn't posted, but I was curious if maybe a yoga retreat had shared something from the weekend. Turns out, it wasn't a retreat. Someone had tagged her in a story. I tapped on it, expecting candles or crystals or some sunset meditation. It was a group selfie. 6 people, standing in front of a wood cabin, wrapped in jackets, smiling by a bonfire. And there was Lily, front and center, with some guy's arm around her shoulders. She didn't look uncomfortable. She looked at ease. Familiar. The same silver necklace around her neck, clear as day. The caption said, "Amazing weekend with this beautiful soul." No tags on her. No mention of retreats or inner growth. Just people drinking wine by a fire, sharing inside jokes, and one guy with his arm casually placed around the woman I was about to marry. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed to be sure of what I saw and what it meant. But I already had a sense. This weekend wasn't about soul searching. It was about seeing what she could get away with. I didn't sleep much that night. Not out of rage, just clarity. The guy in the photo wasn't just some random friend. The way he leaned into her, the way her body settled into his, it wasn't a new connection. It had weight. Familiarity. I'd seen that kind of comfort before, in us, back when we were still trying. The next morning, Lily left for a client meeting. I didn't ask where. I didn't even look up from my coffee. I just waited for the sound of the door clicking shut. Then I moved. I pulled out a few boxes from the closet and started packing. Not everything, just the important stuff. Her clothes, her sketchbooks, her favorite mugs, her charger. I was careful, respectful. I didn't break anything, didn't toss it carelessly. I wasn't angry, just done. I changed the smart lock code, left her things neatly stacked by the front door. Then I sent one message. Saw the story. Your things are outside. I'll mail the rest. Don't come back. The first call came within 10 minutes. Then a text. It's not what it looked like. Then another. I can explain. Then, you're blowing this out of proportion. By noon, I'd gotten a dozen versions of the same thing. She said it was just a moment, that nothing happened, that she was in a weird place emotionally and needed space. That the guy was just a friend who comforted her. That she didn't sleep with anyone. Not that it should even matter, but it did matter. Not because I needed physical proof of betrayal, but because she lied. She wrapped it in self-help buzzwords and emotional growth, but it was deceit, plain and simple. The part that got me? She said the necklace was something she picked up at a gift shop during a meditation retreat. But in the photo, she wasn't at any retreat. She was at a cabin, wine in hand, fire roaring, laughter caught mid-frame. If there was any meditating going on, it looked a lot like flirting. 2 days later, she showed up. No warning. Just knocked. I opened the door, but didn't let her in. She looked tired, eyes red, but makeup carefully done. She said she was sorry, that it was a harmless weekend flirtation and a stupid emotional release. I asked, why lie about where you were? She didn't have an answer. I asked, if it meant nothing, why hide it? She said, because I knew you'd react like this. And there it was. My reaction was the problem, not her behavior. I told her, then it shouldn't be hard to live without it, and shut the door. She texted again later that night. Long paragraphs about how I wasn't emotionally present, that I was always so calm, it made her feel invisible, that I didn't fight hard enough for her. That one almost got me. Almost. But the truth is, she needed drama, needed tension. She mistook my steadiness for apathy and tried to create a story where she was misunderstood and neglected. And maybe that story works better on Instagram than it does in real life. Because in real life, I packed her things, changed the locks, and didn't yell once. I didn't need to. What followed was a steady stream of rationalizations. That it wasn't technically cheating. That she was exploring herself. That we should have had clearer boundaries. But here's what I knew. That weekend wasn't about healing. It was about testing how far she could go under the disguise of emotional health. She wasn't seeking peace. She was seeking a loophole. In the days that followed, I stayed quiet. I didn't respond to her texts anymore. I didn't explain myself to mutual friends who suddenly felt the need to mediate or get both sides. I didn't give her space to twist the narrative. Instead, I sat with it. I gave myself the silence I needed to sort through what was real and what had just been a performance. Lily didn't stop trying. She posted cryptic stories on Instagram, pictures of ocean waves with quotes about loss being the greatest teacher, or selfies captioned, reclaiming my light. To someone scrolling past, she probably looked like someone going through a breakup with grace and wisdom. But I knew better. She needed chaos to feel something. She thrived in the push and pull. For her, love had to come with tension, with high-stakes emotion, or it didn't feel real. And the moment our relationship became stable, predictable, peaceful, she grew restless. What stung wasn't just what she did that weekend. It was realizing how long she'd been pulling away without ever admitting it. A week after it all went down, one of our mutual friends sent me screenshots. They were DMs between Lily and the guy from the cabin. Messages from before the reset weekend ever happened. Weeks before. Late-night messages. Inside jokes. Talk of finally spending time away from distractions. It wasn't spontaneous. It was planned. So while I was prepping for a wedding, trying to keep us both calm under pressure, she was setting up a secret getaway under the mask of spiritual renewal. And just like that, the sympathy people had for her dried up. Even the friends who thought I acted too quickly, who told me I should have heard her out, went quiet after the screenshot surfaced. Now, it's been 2 months. I live alone. The apartment feels quieter, but also lighter. I go on the same hikes. I still play my guitar. I've even picked up journaling, nothing deep, just enough to keep myself grounded. Some nights, I miss the idea of her, the version I thought I had, but not the reality. Because in the end, I wasn't the one who failed. I just refused to keep making space for someone who mistook emotional recklessness for depth. She still posts, still talks about healing and becoming. That's fine. Let her be whoever she needs to be online. I'm not here to expose her. I don't need revenge. I got peace, and that's more valuable. The truth is, some people confuse stillness with stagnation. They think a calm relationship means something's missing, when really, it's just safe, trustworthy, grounded. But for Lily, that kind of love wasn't thrilling enough. So she chased sparks and called it a soul reset. But real growth doesn't need a secret cabin and someone else's necklace. Some connections really do cleanse your soul. They bring clarity, alignment, balance. Others, they just show you who never respected it in the first place. So that's my story. No dramatic ending, no revenge arc, no screaming matches. Just a quiet decision to stop explaining my worth to someone who gambled with it. Do you think I did the right thing? Or would you have handled it differently?